What is the difference between a filter coffee and a normal coffee?
Filter coffee has got an extract of beans into what is called a decoction. It's the secret sauce. Normal coffee, suppose you say instant coffee, it's dehydrated, desiccated crystals, which you add and you build it up again.
3 ways to acquire customers.
Food influencers
Okay.
and social media, direct marketing communications, PR, everything. These are adjuncts.
What are the 4 most profitable businesses in India today?
There is an old adage, roti, kapda और मकान. ये 3 बिजनेस में कभी आप डूबेंगे नहीं.
As a startup, what are the top 3 hurdles that you faced this?
Finance.
Okay.
Second one, finance. You know the third.
I know the third already.
Finance.
Retail coffee is made from low quality coffee bean. So, first thing first, for the viewers, Iyengar's Kaapi, does that mean it's like Iyengar's coffee?
Yeah, actually, down south, it's just a way that they refer to coffee.
Right.
And there are a lot of verbal tics, no? Like, Bengalis have theirs and South Indians have theirs. So they just would say Kaapi. And being true to the origins, I thought that's what we should be.
Absolutely.
So we are actually a Kaapi coffee.
Right. Okay. So you are from Tamil Nadu. You're originally your roots are from Tamil Nadu. And we were speaking behind the camera that you're born and brought up in Bombay. So as a South Indian, as a Tamilian living in Mumbai, is it difficult or is it easy to embrace the cultural differences that are there?
Well, I could just give you a twisted answer.
Sure.
It's a twisted truth, right? So my wife is a Goan and her maiden name was Amita Shirodkar.
Right.
I think it's not unusual for people to refer to me jokingly as Mr. Shirodkar.
Right.
So I speak Marathi. Very often people get misled. They think I'm a local. And embracing means there was a time when we were not welcome because the intelligent Bengali, the intelligent South Indian was taking away all the choice jobs.
Absolutely. Yes.
And there was a movement to say these people are not good for us. Mercifully, all that has changed.
Right.
Because, doodh ka doodh, pani ka pani, everything settled by itself.
Right.
And I think it's one of the best cosmos to actually be in. There is, I know everybody would love the place where they stay, they work, but I don't think there is any place comparable to Bombay. So have we found our roots here? Found it enough to make Kaapi coffee a success here and hopefully to the NRI diaspora all over the world.
So what makes Bombay so lovable and what makes Bombay so successful in harboring people's dreams?
The easiest comparison I can give to is, let's say, New York. For all those who know what New York stands for, it promotes entrepreneurship.
Right.
Meaning you have an idea.
Yes.
If you have the grit, you have the determination, and you have the money, you can succeed. So elsewhere, it might be more tradition bound. It's not that there's no tradition, but it's a mixed tradition. So you got something like about 8, 10, 12 different socio classes, and you got 10, 12, 20 different cultures. So in that potpourri, in that melting pot, there's room, space for everything and everybody.
Right.
So for example, idli, which is now pretty much discovered and famously Bill Clinton has it. I don't know how much of that the WhatsApp university is never to be trusted.
Right.
But Italy is something which you'll find in every Punjabi home today.
Exactly.
In Bombay.
Absolutely.
And in Bombay, you'll equally find batata vada, which is a Maharashtrian staple in everyone's home. So it's like pretty much the bhelpuri,
Right.
which makes Bombay tick.
So you mentioned about the importance of having money. Now, Bombay is one of the most expensive cities to live in, as per even the recent data which has been released in terms of real estate, cost of living. So, what happens for the people who have dreams but they do not have the money and the means to maybe leave their hometown, come to Bombay, and try and make a living?
I have people who are working with me, and anytime we take them on board, I love to know the antecedents, what they do. There's some crazy stratas, and I'm not talking about economic, within the needy, those who come to Bombay. And again, I'm not talking about people who come for Bollywood.
Right, absolutely.
I'm talking about the average person who says, like, Bombay mein mere ko kaam mil
Absolutely.
jayega."
There's a notion that people come to Bombay only for Bollywood, but that's completely wrong.
It is totally erroneous. I mean, they may harbor those dreams, but quickly they realize, well, you could be a film star, by the way, by your complexion.
Thank you so much. I'll take that as a compliment.
So, what we find is that there are places in a geography called Kalbadevi, where there is one room and there are 3 tiers, like a 3-tier train.
Right.
Yes. And that's rented by 8 hours. And so there are 3 berths and there are 9 lockers. So there are 9 people, because somebody is working nights, somebody is working days, somebody is working afternoons. So they pay for only that much. गुजारा हो जाता है. किसी को भी बंबई में खाली पेट पे सोना नहीं पड़ेगा. बट वहां से तरक्की करने के लिए बहुत कुछ पापड़ बेलने पड़ेंगे, as they say.
But why not? Absolutely.
And this one's a little different from the regular Kaapi.
Right.
This one's chilled.
I love things which are chilled.
Okay, so here's going. Please.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I love the froth that is built up.
In Tamil, the word for froth is nore.
Nore. Okay.
Nalla nore vandirukku.
What did that mean?
Very good froth.
It is. Let's do cheers.
Oh, that's easy.
Pretty nice and pretty refreshing. I think in the heat, I think this is the perfect thing.
Yeah, thank you.
So, talking about your journey, you were a finalist in MasterChef. You were in the top 50. How did that journey go? Why did you decide that you want to go to MasterChef? That's my first question. There are multiple questions related.
Well, MasterChef happened purely by accident. My daughter and her friends, who used to be home all the time, so they'd been tasting my food. And it was new, not same, different. It was completely new. And of course, the one favorite would be in every meal there had to be pasta, which I don't know for whatever reason. So that would happen. Like, hum kimchi dete hain ya kachumar dete hain. So there would be pasta for sure. So one day she said, like, Dad, you have to compete in MasterChef. I said, that show. And Akshay Kumar, he was on the show, the first episode. And the thing which revulsed me was that he was derisive about food. Actually, he wasn't. I think he was directed wrongly.
Right.
Probably they wanted to make it edgy and got it wrong. So he was like, I'm just going to mimic it. I was like, no, you're not going to mock my food. Nobody does that. So when Ria, that's my daughter, said, you're on MasterChef, I'm sure you'll win. I said, sweetheart, I'm not going on the show. Like, so AI was listening. The next thing I know, she comes rushing in a month later saying, he's off. And Vineet Khanna is there. It's like, what are you saying? She says, now you can try. So I had to make a debut. I said, Fadu, let's go and do it. And I started with creme brulee.
Okay.
So creme brulee, as you know, is a custard.
Yes.
And there's brown sugar and you caramelize it. अब रेस्टोरेंट से जब आता है सब तैयार आता है आपको सिर्फ तो मैंने क्या किया वहाँ caramelize की, which is like just showy because I knew I'm playing to the gallery who's playing to the gallery.
Right.
And I took my little torch which I had got, my sister-in-law had given me from France. very rare in those days. And I, torched the sugar, the brown sugar, it caramelized, it set, and they were like reaching out for the caramel. I said, wait. The true test is you take the back of a spoon and you hit the caramel, which is caramelized. And if it cracks like glass and shreds, that's a true creme brulee. So, round 2, approved. From there, round 3, 4, 5, 6. The 7th one is really funny. Funny for a different reason. I come out of this auditioning room,
Right.
And come into this big hall, and there are almost about 6,000 women. No gender offense, but I beat 35,000 women to come to the top 50, which is very evocative of the fact that maybe all of them wanted to be on the show. But at those thousands of women, I heard. I had made, and the word had spread, snake coffee.
Oh.
So one North Indian lady said, जी आप कौन सी सांप इस्तेमाल किए? I said, bush snake. She bought it. I think partly got horrified. I was like chuckling because, snake coffee.
Absolutely.
So this had fascinated me. I'd seen it at Bangalore when they had opened that Windsor Manor. And the guy had come in a trolley and he had flammed it for me. And I saw 1 spoon of cognac becoming 1 drop of orange flavored residue gone into a blue flame. So I said, what if I do this with coffee? I said, I'll do it with Kaapi. And I made my snake coffee with Kaapi. I caramelized the glasses so that they hung like icicles. And I took the orange peel, continuous one, which you hold by tongs to flame it so it looks like a snake.
Right.
And next round. That's how it happened. So why did I get in? My daughter. How did I get in? This way.
So then, were you heartbroken when you could not reach maybe the top 10 or maybe couldn't win it?
I would have loved to know whether I would have won it or not, but that opportunity didn't come by.
Why so?
We were shooting in RK Studios, which is in Chembur, which is like in my backyard.
Yeah.
Because we were here in the same location. And my trusty peon, I said, there is a 1 hour break for lunch, suta break and lunch. So Jayendra will come, those his checks, no digital. I'll sign the checks. And on 27th August, they said, we pack up, we are going to Ramoji, pack up for 3 months.
Achha.
And instructions on, so I think they got funded. So episode 2 was actually in Ramoji, where they had built up this big city, which we didn't know.
Right.
I had a flourishing direct marketing consultancy. Couldn't hang that for 3 months. So I didn't go. So went to the boot camp.
So basically you backed out in a way.
Yes, I resigned. I wrote them a mail and I said, sorry, I wouldn't be able to take.
So do you regret that, right?
I've pretty much regretted today. But at that time, it was like, nah. I mean, that's all right. It's only a TV show. I've already come here. I wish I'd gone on beyond. There was a colleague of mine, as in like one contestant, Rajat, and he, by the way, was a film producer, ad film producer. Right. So he went on to the top 12. And he told me like, yaar, Ramesh, good you didn't come. I said, hey? Kya ho gaya? So he's saying, yaar, they disbanded our devices. They said, you can't use your email. If you want to make calls, they took away the cell phone because they don't want the results going.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you want to make the call, you will make it on our phone under our supervision. Right. I said, okay, wise decision. Much younger, in business.
Right.
Older and wiser.
Right. And what made you decide to start Iyengar's Kaapi?
COVID.
Achha. That's it. कुछ करना था, घर पे बैठे हो.
Basically, life 2.0.
Right.
You're far away from that. But when you turn 60, that's the time you evaluate and say, maybe you'll do it at 40, 45. My daughter's thinking of doing it at 40.
Right.
Second life starts at 40.
Okay.
So हमारे तो पुरानी याद का 60. So I said, I need to do something. The 2 years of COVID, forced confinement, actually helped.
Right.
Because for those who had everything going, they said, like, now what do I do here after this? So my mother-in-law, who's still surviving, and I'd be eternally grateful to her. She is the Shirodkar where she got, my wife got the Shirodkar name from. So she said, like, Papa, you know what you should do? You should just make your coffee. And then she came for the inauguration and she said, yeah, I never even thought that you would do this. I thought you have a little stall and you'll make coffee.
And how much did you invest in terms of money to start this business? Did you take investment right at the beginning, or were there investors later on as the business flourished?
I put in my money, and
So it was bootstrapped to begin with.
Totally. And it continues to be that after 3 years. So we're coming out in the 36th month. And
so how much
grace
was
of
the
God,
investment approximately?
2 crores.
And
I'm talking about not the initial, the total.
Right. And have
money.
you like broken even?
No,
Not yet.
no, not yet. It's an FMCG product,
Right.
so
It
I
takes
think it'll take at least a year more.
Right. So for beginners or for anybody who wants to get into this business, not only about say, selling coffee, but into the FMCG segment, what is your maybe opinion, or what is your tip to them? How many months of money should they have as safety net? Because oftentimes, people calculate the investment, but they don't calculate the recurring salaries, the marketing, and all of that, and then the business goes down. So, what is your?
I really think that it's not estimatable because it depends on the business.
Right.
I don't want to make the general statement, get away with
Correct.
it. I would say that if you have a business plan where it's going to, in your opinion, going to break even in let's say 12 months. It happens, no? Okay, 12 महीने तो मेरा हो जाएगा, etc.
सब वही सोचते हैं.
Do 2x. 100%, that 12 months will become 24. Suppose you are, let's say, a physiotherapist. You've been working in a hospital. Now you're setting up a clinic. And you say like, अच्छा खासा मैं खर्चा वर्चा कर लूंगा and मेरे सारे पुराने patients हैं, वो लोग जाएंगे. You may just make a fundamental mistake that they are not going to be traveling to you with their ailment, because you're not going to be where that hospital is. You're going to be in the back of beyond.
Absolutely.
So you're going to have to canvas for new customers. That takes time. You'd forget your pedigree has brought you here, but then you have to start all over again when it's a startup. So I think whatever is the business plan, I would say uska double kar dena. Safety.
3 ways to acquire customers for a new business.
Are you talking methodology, or are you talking about strategy?
I'm talking about methodology, strategy, marketing, like 3 simple ways for customer acquisition for a new business.
Today, for a new business, mass consumed, mass produced,
right?
There's nothing to substitute good influencers and social media. I think there is just absolute.
So digital is number one.
Number one, numero uno.
Okay.
I think the vocation that I had, which I professed for 40 years, called direct marketing communications. If it's a B2B product, then you don't need to go this route. B2B is sharpshooting. One is AK-47 and the other is like very fine sniper shots. So if you want to do B2B, then I would say you can do it for much less using direct marketing, but you need to have the skill, or you need to employ
Exactly. Or have the network.
Correct. And if you're funded, in God's grace, you got deep pockets and nothing to substitute traditional mass media combined with social, combined with all the other things, PR, everything. These are adjuncts, but the key bulwark. So I think most startups don't have that kind of money. So it'll make sense to do digital as primary.
And so, for example, if you can guide us through. So this is one of your products. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you have to guide us through, what is the MRP on this? And what is the manufacturing price? What is the marketing budget? And how much do you make on?
Sure. So basically what you're seeing is the packaging, which is returned. So very many people, the eyes have gone up and say, yeah, 50 rupees coffee ka flask bhi milta hai. And they're already out with their GPay and whatnot.
yeah.
रुको यार,
मैं भी ये सोचा था कि मैं घर लेके चला जाऊंगा.
वैसे तो आप दोस्त हैं तो अलग ही बात है. But no, this is designed to keep things piping hot for 6 hours and chilled as you had it. It has all been made. What we are having is made 4 hours ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's the secret of this. What's the contents is just 50 rupees. So what you're drinking is 50 rupees
So the MRP is 50 rupees.
per cup.
Oh,
And there's a
okay.
minimum of 5 cups.
Right.
It's not, doesn't make sense to send 1 cup.
Obviously.
तो 5 कप बोले तो हो जाता है, दोस्त के साथ पिए और दूसरा बार पिए तो खत्म. And then we pick it up the next day. So any manufacturing, if you're asking for a generalization, I think your manufacturing cost and total would be in the region of about 40%.
Oh.
And 30% would be overheads, which includes marketing. Because that's going to be a variable depending on your product and your markets,
Absolutely.
geographies and all that. So 30% you should look at grossing out,
Right.
but after breaking.
Right.
So-
And
40, 30, 30.
does the expense also include the logistical delivery and pickup?
Okay, so one of the things that your viewers would like to know is that anything you've thought of will change.
Agreed. Completely.
Victor ने बोला
Completely.
कि change is the only constant.
Yes.
कसम से, there is nothing of my original plan
Hmm.
other than this, which we made investments and the Kaapi idea.
Right.
I don't know anything which has remained the same. We are pivoting every 3 months, 6 months. So your question of,
My question was like in the expense,
yeah.
is the logistic also
Yeah,
included?
so we had it included, thinking it will be one price for all. And we realized like it didn't fly. It seemed expensive. So we unbundled it and we're good.
Okay.
So if you're at a faraway location, you pay more.
Right.
If you're nearby, you pay less.
Correct. Because say somebody, we are in Vadala, so somebody ordering from Worli will be less, and somebody ordering say maybe from Virar, obviously you can't sell it for the same price.
Totally.
Right.
Totally.
What, if I have to ask you, as a startup, what are the top 3 hurdles that you faced this?
Finance.
Okay.
Second one, finance. You know the third.
I know the third already.
Finance.
Right. So, and how do you actually counter that? Are you looking to get some investors or angel investors on board or some banks to help
We're
you?
beyond the angel POC stage.
Right.
3 years is well beyond that.
Right.
So we're now looking for PE,
Okay.
private equity.
Right. Yes.
And we're looking for people who have an understanding that this kind of investments returns are massive, but there is a certain amount of
Time.
So anybody who's understanding of that and not मैंने डाल दिया मेरे को डिपॉजिट्स वगैरह में मेरे को 12 मिलते हैं, यहाँ 14, उसमें क्या तो मेरे को 20, मार्केट खेला तो 50. अरे आपको 300 टका मिलेगा.
सब्र. Absolutely. सब्र का फल मीठा होता है.
बिल्कुल.
So according to you, what are the 4 most profitable businesses in India today?
Most profitable? Wow.
And
Startups?
That's according to you.
Startups, regular business?
Anything. Like you can, in fact, I would want you to answer industry wise or maybe sector wise.
Well, technology is extremely profitable because it's moving into a zone where we have both the skills, the pool, and I think we've already established ourselves around the world. So there's no need to introduce ourselves. So technology, anything technology, I mean, that's not my domain, but I know that from a business reality, that's a big place. They're saying manufacturing is the future because it's going to move to us.
Correct.
Again, for the same
Yes.
reason.
Yes.
But that's a long haul.
Okay.
That usually is like a 10-year loop. So I don't know. Today, automobile sector, etc., is doing pretty good. They have their ups and downs, but pretty much everybody is making money because the demand is there. Domestic demand is there. So you have that, you have this. I think the entire gig system, delivery, online platform, food ecosystem, it's because the number of people and the amount of money being available.
Right.
And you know that in most metros now, people are your age, I think yours and younger, probably don't cook. And they prefer to order in, eat out, whatever. So that being the case, I think food's going to be, and we are like hunting for that to happen. And then there are perennial businesses like fashion and, I don't think much is going to happen in the area of brokerage. All of that is going to be taken away by technology.
What is your take on one of the more, I would say, one of the more like industries such as, say, healthcare and education, which is one of the more primitive industries, which has been there for a long, long time. Because there's this entire wave which says that these two industries are never going to go down, because there are two things which India is obsessed about. One is bachcho ki padhai. That is one thing. Parents, unfortunately, I would say they invest their whole life saving on their children's education, which I completely don't support of. I think पैर उतना ही फैलाना चाहिए जितना चादर हो.
बिल्कुल.
They take huge amount of loans. So that is one sector. And second is again healthcare, because we go all out to save the life and treat the people whom we love. So what is your take on these two sectors in India?
See, there is an old adage, roti, kapda और मकान. ये तीन बिजनेस में कभी आप डूबेंगे नहीं. हाँ? रोटी, फूड, आदमी को तो खाना ही है. तो यहाँ का 5 स्टार में खाओ,
खाना है बिल्कुल.
कपड़ा, पोशाक तो क्या जरूरत है तो 2 शर्ट लेंगे, जरूरत नहीं है तो आप 50 लेंगे, फिर लगेगा कि यार ये बहुत जूनी हो गई, तो कपड़ा तो होना ही है. फिर मकान, सबको मकान चाहिए, और एक रहेगा तो 2 चाहिए, 2 रहेंगे तो वी कैन प्लेस इट, सो ऑन. तो healthcare and all that doesn't fit in this traditional paradigm.
Right.
But when you look at it as what happens in terms of the pandemic, when you see what is happening in terms of the density, population density, तो इतने फैल रहे हैं diseases. So either you're talking pharma, which is a high investment game, or you got ancillaries like ये mask वाले different. जिन्होंने mask बनाई, वो डोलो का आपने मीम देखा होगा ना? That guy's got diamonds all over. Dolo 650, Dolo 650. Everybody was popping Dolo 650. वो अमीर हो गया.
Right.
So yeah, so healthcare, hospitals, chains, corporatization, वो सब है ही. But it's a very funny thing. If you see the percentage of people the population percentage who fall sick and the number of beds available, we are managing. आपके कुछ 5,000 beds होंगे, and संख्या क्या है? So people don't fall that ill. Or pharma and all is deep pockets.
Right.
It's a different game.
Right.
So if you're talking about startups, entrepreneurs, I think services hai. Physiotherapy में बताया था.
Right.
Digital X-ray, blah, 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 blah. All the newer things. Dental. Everybody wants to now look very smart.
Right, absolutely.
So I think that's there. But
and I must say,
I would still say roti, kapda, makan would be a big ticket.
And एकदम topic से deviate कर रहा हूँ, but I must say I'm really enjoying this. It is the minute I'm getting a little low, suddenly one sip of this and I'm again back to full energy. Okay, tell me something for.
And it's not a commercial plug.
It's not. This is not a sponsored video, guys. Absolutely not. So
thank you for that.
What is for the lay person, in answer in 10 seconds, what is the difference between a filter coffee and a normal coffee?
Filter coffee has got an extract of beans into what is called a decoction. It's the secret sauce. Normal coffee, suppose you say instant coffee, it's dehydrated, desiccated crystals, which you add and you build it up again. The flavor, freshness. Full of flavor, full of freshness. Added flavor, no freshness.
Do you drink Nescoffee or brew?
I've grown up on that pretty much.
Do you drink it now?
No.
What is your take on that?
I do drink it to keep checking.
Okay. Okay.
It's like more like scanning competition.
Do you enjoy drinking it now?
How can I answer that? Okay.
Yeah,
Let me in for a penny, in for a pound. No.
Why?
Freshness.
Because it's packaged for a long, long time.
And that's the mass production way of doing things.
Do they fall under the like real coffee tag or something? If there's a tag, something like that.
They're coffee. Nobody can deny that that's a coffee. It will pep you up. It will give you a pickup wherever you are. You can take a little bottle. ये fresh बनाने जाओ.
Right. So if I'm right, so something like that. जो बेकरी में बहुत सारे ब्रेड बनते हैं वर्सेस जो सार्डो में ब्रेड बनता है. The difference between that. Similarly, like जो बल्क में प्रोडक्शन होता है कॉफी का, ये जो थोड़े बैचेस में बनता है.
Artisanal.
Right.
If there's one word to say it, it's like, let's take pizza now. You tell me if you would like to take frozen pizza, you must have eaten it.
Yes.
जब एकदम कड़ी भूख लगी है और कुछ बनाना नहीं है फ्रिज से निकाले खाए. अब मुझे बताओ वो चमड़ा खा के कितना मजा आएगा आपको.
Agreed. Completely. So because you are a startup founder yourself, according to you, what are the most common mistakes that startup owners and founders make?
I think overestimation of one's capabilities and not खुद पे पूरा भरोसा करते हैं. उतना नहीं करना चाहिए. थोड़ा पैसे खर्चा करो, औरों को लो. अगर you don't want to hire them, किराए पे लो, भाड़े पे लो, एजेंसी को हायर करो. See, people who know their business, they know the ins and outs, they'll come at a price. तो उसका आप फैक्टरिंग करो. बट मैं ये भी जानता हूँ, मैं ये भी किया, मैं ये भी कर सकता हूँ. आप सभी खुद ही करने जाओगे तो आप रहेंगे. ठेला my mother-in-law said, yeah, I thought you'll put a stall. Of course I'd put a stall, but my ambition is to go to the world. Then I can start with a stall.
Right. So who supported you in this journey when you decided to do this?
Commercial plug or personal plug?
Personal.
My dearest wife, absolutely. She's my partner for 40 years.
Right.
Wife partner, life partner.
Absolutely.
And my business partner for some 33.
Wow. Amazing.
And cross my heart and hope to die. And I hope it never changes, touch wood and all of that. We never fight.
That is so beautiful.
So this is the thing which I was asked, like, how, now, ये business बातें छोड़ो, how do you manage, यार, बीवी के साथ इतने साल काम करते? They also ask me that. I know you're not going to ask me.
I'm about to ask you that. I'm itching to ask you that. So tell me something. 40 years of marriage. How do you keep the love alive?
Space. औरों ने कहा है, I'll say the same thing. Very insipid answer. Space. यानी कि you want to be जुड़े हुए रहना है, but आपको जो करना है अंदर से खुला छोड़ो. You said I've been a founder. I'm a serial entrepreneur. This is my third company.
Right.
And everywhere it is always path-breaking, innovative. पहले किसी ने किया ही नहीं. दुनिया भर में, not a commercial plug, कहीं भी दुनिया भर में गरम कॉफी या ठंडा कॉफी आपको फ्लास्क में नहीं मिलेगा.
Exactly.
This is unique. तो इसका पीछे कौन है? Backbone. My brains, my wit, my grit and all of that. If you don't have somebody supporting you, damn, it's not possible. I would say 100% to family. And I'm also lucky to have 4 or 5 colleagues who've been with me 15 years, 20 years. I mean, it's a decent span of time. And without them, I couldn't have done this.
How important is love and marriage to you? And did you have a love marriage or did you have an arranged marriage?
Every time I talk about this, even my wife looks at me in wonderment and she says, oh, wow. And then she says, like, Acha, that's a new version. I never seen it that way. So, yeah, pretty much love. And from her side, gun from hers.
Okay.
A meek yes over, in those days, we went to a restaurant which had crooked straws.
Okay.
Yeah. But unke paas tha, auron ke paas wo street tha na. So there was this, and we were sharing a fresh lime soda, not a Kaapi. And I had my straw and she had hers. And so she's not taken a sip. And I'm like, have no. And she's like, are you going to marry me or not? So yeah, so gun to my head, meaning you're very clear. हमें बताओ, मुद्दे की बात करो. So how do you keep the love alive? I think that's continued. So झगड़ना है ना, it's ego. आपके पास ईगो है. अब आपका ईगो कैसे सबमिसिव कराते हैं? It's really it's tough. And आज की तारीख में people are doing prenups.
Yeah,
अगर
exactly.
हमें जुदा होना है तो
Yeah.
आपको क्या मिलेगा, मुझे क्या मिले. मैं बोला अच्छा ठीक है, ऐसा भी होता है.
So I'm a little stumped, honestly. So how do you guys not fight? ये कैसे हो सकता है? बोलते हैं ना कि झगड़ा तो प्यार को बढ़ाता है, तो थोड़ा सा भी झगड़ते नहीं हो.
झगड़े बोले तो सीरियस वाली बात बोल रहे हैं. लिटिल इरिटेशन, बट देन वो 2-3 मिनट में ना ठीक हो जाता है. तो आई डोंट कॉल दैट फाइट.
आप मनाते हो या वो मनाते हैं?
मैं जा रही हूँ मम्मी के घर,
अच्छा.
आप चले जाओ यहाँ से, वो वाली हुई नहीं मेरे साथ. जाएंगे तो कहाँ जाएंगे भाई, बम्बे में जगह किसके पास है? वैसे.
So who makes up most of the time, you or her?
Me.
Okay.
You want to have a happy marriage for 40 years, and as some young people in this room, हाँ में हाँ मिलाओ जब जरूरत है. फिर जब आपको चाहिए ना, आप अपना कर भी लो. सामने से कोई मांगनी हो रही है ना, हम बोल देने का.
ये टिप अच्छा है.
हाँ, एकदम
सही टिप है.
इसमें नहीं, तुम्हें मालूम है मैं कौन हूँ? The door is there, boss.
वो तो फिर दिल्ली वाला लाइन हो गया. तू जानता नहीं मेरा बाप कौन है.
तुझे ही मालूम नहीं? There's a sequel to that.
Yeah. So, what else do you like to do when you're not working and when you're not, say, making love with your wife?
Cook.
You love cooking?
I cook all the time.
You are a great cook. You went to MasterChef, obviously.
नहीं यार, simple.
What do you like to cook the most?
South Indian.
Achha.
Not because I'm familiar with it, but that for my family, it's continental because they love it. And for my friends, it's basically innovations.
Right.
I mean, they just can't believe it tastes different. कुछ ने पोहा बनाएंगे और presentation में I'm terrible in presentation. I don't know how to do presentation. In fact, I have to up my skills there.
So, for our viewers, why don't you give us some quick 2-minute recipe? जो midnight किसी को snack खाना है और 2 minute एक quick recipe viewers के लिए आप बता दो.
घर में कुछ तो होगा ना?
बिल्कुल होगा.
पहले दिन का कुछ तो होगा ना? रैप बना लो. पहले दिन की 2 रोटी, आलू तो होगा. आलू भाजी शायद होगी.
जरूर.
कांदा चीरो, स्लाइस कर दो. आपके जो चपाती है उसको सेकना नहीं, थोड़ा सा गर्म करो, माइक्रोवेव में नहीं, तवे पे प्लीज. थोड़ा कष्ट लो यार, ये इंस्टेंट वाली बात मेरे को बिल्कुल पसंद. तो आपने उसको सेका, जस्ट वार्म किया, उसमें यू पुट एनीथिंग विच इज सावर. तो आपके घर में मस्टर्ड होगी, डिप होगा, चटनी होगी, समथिंग. प्लीज नॉट केचप. हर एक चीज में ये लेके केचप डालो, ये लेके चीज डालो, तो यार ठीक है ना, वो बाहर भी मिल जाएगा हमको. टोमेटो सॉस बोल के केचप ही देते हैं वैसे. सो यू पुट एनीथिंग विच विल गिव इट अ सावर टेस्ट. उसके ऊपर आपका भाजी फैल दिया आपने. यूजुअली फरसबी का होगा, बोरिंग वेजिटेबल्स है. फरसबी, भिंडी, आलू, सूखा, इट कैन बी गिला.
राइट.
तो सूखा भाजी लगा, ऊपर से उसे कांदा कर दिए, होल्ड इट. यू टेल मी, कॉल एंड टेल मी, पेट भर जाएगा, नींद आएगी, मम्मी याद आएगी.
माउथ मुंह में पानी आ गया. गलत क्वेश्चन पूछ लिया, रॉन्ग क्वेश्चन एट द रॉन्ग टाइम. कभी ऐसा लगा है आपको, you being from Tamil, you being from South India, that there is this Hindi and the South India bridge or the war that always happen, the Hindi imposition? Have you ever faced it, or what is your take on it?
My take is it happens in the South, never in Bombay.
Right.
Just the other day I had a new applicant, and interestingly, he's done his graduation in criminology, It's like, I have to meet this guy. I want to know who's got this teda way of doing graduation in criminology, and why does he want to apply to us? As it turned out, he was from the deep south. That's why I got to introduce. He's a Tamilian. I said, so does he speak Hindi? No. Does he speak any language which others do? Marathi maybe, if not Hindi. No. He speaks only Tamil and English. I said, he won't get a job here. And I may be Tamilian, but I cannot have you. How will you converse with anybody else? So you need to know the local language. So Hindi, I think, is a जोड़ रहा है ना. सभी जगह आप जाएंगे तो हिंदी तो थोड़ा बहुत कॉमन हो जाता है. अब जस्ट टेल मी इन वेस्ट बंगाल कोई किसी ने ममता दीदी भी हिंदी बोलती है, एक्सेंट के साथ, पर हिंदी तो बोल लेती है. तो सबको हिंदी बोलना आता है. तो एक तो राष्ट्रभाषा होना चाहिए. अब आप बोलेंगे कि हमारे मुल्क में ये राष्ट्रभाषा नहीं चली गई है. ठीक है ना यार, तुम उसको पहले लैंग्वेज कर दो, इसको सेकंड लैंग्वेज करा दो, इसमें क्या है. बट इफ यू वांट टू मूव, अब फ्रांस जाओगे तो फ्रेंच नहीं सीखोगे, जर्मनी जाओगे तो जर्मनी नहीं सीखोगे, जर्मन नहीं सीखोगे. अरे चाइना जाओ, अब मैंड्रिन में बात करो, आपको डिस्काउंट अपने आप मिल जाएगा. अदरवाइज यू वोंट गेट इट. सो शायद ये चीज है कि कहीं तो आपको कमर्शियल लैंग्वेज इंग्लिश हो गया, और कहीं एक दूसरे से पहचान करने के लिए, बात करने के लिए हिंदी तो करनी है. एंड आई एम अ तमिलियन बट आई स्पीक टू यू.
राइट. तो बहुत सारे लोग ये कहते हैं ना कि जैसे कि इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में कोई ऑफिशियल कोई नेशनल लैंग्वेज नहीं है. देयर आर 10-12 ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेजेस वेयर इंग्लिश, बंगाली, हिंदी, तमिल. तो अब इन देयर साइड ऑफ आर्गुमेंट दे से देयर इज नो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अलाउज अस टू नॉट स्पीक इन हिंदी, सो व्हाई शुड वी लर्न हिंदी?
नो, बट यू गो ऑन द लॉ. जो लॉ है सो है.
हाँ.
उस पे तो कोई भेदभाव है ही नहीं.
राइट.
I mean, you can't say, why are you not learning Hindi?
No, that's bad. Yeah, right. Absolutely.
But आप बोलेंगे कि भाई देखो, आपको यहाँ से यहाँ जानी है, तो आप तमिल में बात करो या तेलुगु में या मलयालम या और बंगाली और ओरिया और एनी प्लेस. दूसरे से संपर्क कैसा करिए? आप मराठी लेके आप जाएंगे उड़ीसा को, कैसे बात कर पाओगे?
राइट.
तो वहां की नई भाषा ओरिया सीखना, आई थिंक दैट इज इजी. नहीं ना. सो आई थिंक दिस अ लिटिल ओवररेटेड.
राइट.
अगर आप बोले व्हाई इज इंग्लिश द लैंग्वेज ऑफ चॉइस एंड व्हाई इज एवरीबॉडी इंसिस्टिंग ऑन दैट, आई वुड से दैट्स अ फेयर पॉइंट. भाई मातृभाषा है, एक राष्ट्रभाषा है, कोई एक तो होना चाहिए.
राइट.
एंड देयर, आई मीन, you should know both. Like we're freely talking in the two languages.
Absolutely, yes.
நான் என்ன தமிழ்ல கூட பேசலாம், என்ன, ஆனா உங்களுக்கு புரியவே புரியாது. ஸோ நீங்க என் கூட நீங்க சென்னையில உட்காந்துருந்தீங்கன்னா, நீ ஹிந்தியில பேசினா நான் சொல்லுவேன், என்ன சொல்ற நீ? நீ சொல்ல, நீங்க என்ன சொல்றா? இல்ல, நீ ஹிந்தியில சொல்ல, क्या बात कर रहे हो तुम? Point made.
So we have this fun segment before we wrap up today's episode. This is called straight versus twisted. Okay, I'll be giving you 8 sentences. मैं एक एक करके आपको बोलूंगा. आपको सुन के तुरंत बोलना है वो straight है या twisted है. For example, this is a cup. You have to say straight. Now, if I say this is a glass, or if I say this is a saucer, you will say this is twisted. That's the game.
So should I say it's, in this example, it's twisted because it's a tumbler?
Absolutely. Why not? Correct. Because it's not 100%.
तो मेरे को कारण नहीं देने.
कारण नहीं देना आपको, बस straight, कोई reasons नहीं देना आपको. Okay. So are you ready? Great.
Always.
Retail coffee is made from low quality coffee beans.
Twisted.
Retail coffee is highly processed and unhealthy.
Straight.
Coffee is bad for your sleep.
Twisted.
Starbucks coffee is not the real coffee.
Twisted.
South Indian films are better than Bollywood films.
Twisted.
All the South Indians from all the states only eat idli and dosa.
Okay, twisted.
The majority of Tamilians always wear lungis.
Twisted.
Rajnikant is better than Amitabh Bachchan.
Straight.
Thank you so much, Ramesh, for giving your time to us. We had a pleasure talking to you. It was wonderful. And I wish you and the brand and everyone associated with the team all the best so that you can call us again for some amazing coffee and kudukku mudukku.
Thank you, Joydeep. I've been behind in this position many, many, many times. But today, your name, Joydeep, and what I'm feeling, joy, I don't mean to pun on it unnecessarily, but it has really been a pleasure. Thank you for coming. Thank you for taking the effort and the trouble. And I hope to see you again.
Absolutely. And I hope you did not blow smoke up my ass, but you really meant it, the compliment which you gave me, because I'm feeling very happy from inside.
No, you should. You should. Oh, that might be the Kaapi, but that's all right.
Thank you so much, Ramesh. It was a pleasure talking to you. Pleasure.
Entirely my pleasure.